guys, welcome back, and hope you're all keeping well. This morning I thought I would give you a little bit of a tour of our classic retro little Haines Hunter, Haines V146R. It's actually a 1979 model that we I and with the help of my kids and Enzo, we've personally restored it just recently. So I'm going to give you a bit of a tour of it, explain what we did and what we didn't need to do and all that kind of stuff. And then after that, we're actually going to get out and do a little bit of a flathead fish around the Gold Coast canals. Our adventures in the other big boat that we have, the Caribbean, another awesome Aussie boat that you would have seen in our other videos. Good old Cyclone Seth has put a stop to, I guess, the proceedings of that adventure, at least for a few weeks. So anyway, here we go. Look, let's start with the outboard. Suzuki DF100B. They're calling this the lightest 100 horsepower 4-stroke engine in the world, at only 157 kilos. And the engine that was on this engine is actually only not even 6 months old, and so far absolutely flawless. And it gets up and goes too. It pushes this little boat. It's just me on board and very light gear, at almost 90 k's an hour. So it's a little bit chine walky and a lot of fun. But great outboard, 21 pitch prop, and it's in terms of weight, it's on par with the Johnson, the old Johnson 1989 model Johnson 90 horsepower 2-stroke. That we took off of it. So anyway, I've done the transom on this. This is a full thermalite transom now, which will never rot out again. Very, very strong, thicker than what it was from factory. This boat was a survivor. It was before we touched it, you would kind of classify it as a survivor. It had, to my knowledge, it had never been fished from really. It had been a ski boat most of its life. It had been, a lot of its use is freshwater only. But so the floor and the stringers are strong. I was able to assess that when I had the transom out, where the stringers butt up against the transom. They were like the timber was laid yesterday, so they were fine. And there's no soft spots in the floor, so I'm very happy with that. I've done some inspection holes in the front, which was all clear. So thermalite transom, all repainted at the back. We've just installed. So I'm getting this ready to fish from. I want to bring you guys along in some of the inshore reefs off the coast that really wouldn't warrant putting the big boat, really wouldn't warrant taking that out to fish the shallow reefs, and even like Palm Beach Reef and Mermaid Reef and mackerel and things like that. So I've just put a little Garmin Striker 7 in there, and just a little transducer that comes with it, the little Garmin GT52 high wide. That'll certainly do the job. And I knocked this up yesterday as well, just to carry the rods in transit. The gel coat is all original gel coat through here, of which I've sanded and wet sanded and buffed to a very, very high gloss. It's even ceramic coated now. I have painted the top, and in that process I filled a lot of holes that was in it. The gel coat was actually in pretty good condition, but I just couldn't handle all the holes from previous fittings and stuff like that. So they've all been filled, and I have painted that in its matching colour, which is now in 2-pack. So when I was fitting this, I really didn't want to drill any more holes in the boat, so I've attached it with a couple of U-bolts on the ski pole there, which I intend on keeping. It's really fun to get the kids out on the ski tube. They've been loving it as well. So we've got the stainless steel cruise tank, as you can see down there. and I've also plumbed in some fuel lines with some shut-off valves. So I've got a tank at the back and I've got a tank up the front there, just a 40 litre plastic portable. So what I intend to do, when we're skiing with the kids, it's I can just use the back tank, but when I'm offshore, I want to try and get a bit of weight forward. So what I can do, I can put a reserve amount of fuel in the back tank there that can literally get me from here to the seaway and then back to here. And so maybe about 10 litres in there, but I'll carry a full 40 litres up the front. And I've also moved the battery from the back that was here to under the seat here as well. So that's nicely done under there. Yeah, what else have we got? We've got, well, the outboard's complemented by a really nice high drive hydraulic steering system there. That's awesome. Like when you're steering the boat, it's like the lightest steering ever. It provides a lot of feedback too. It's great. What else have we got going on here? All new steering hub, steering wheel. We've got brand new gauges in there as well. I'll bring you in there and give you a bit of a look as well. So we've got brand new gauges in there. The old fuse panel, which I've kept as well as a bit of a keepsake. The old switches and fuse panel, the new gunner we spoke about, new logos there, and as you can see, there's very, very clean, very tidy. I do carry just a small sand anchor with 5 metres of chain and 50 metres of rope there, and there's a bit of a safety gear bag there too. It has all the safety gear that we must carry, flares, V-sheet, all that kind of stuff as well. And up the front there, up the very front, if you can see up there, we've got our life jackets and the fuel tank as well that we spoke of before. Bimini, yeah, I've gone with a bit of a low line bimini on this particular one, and it's removable too. So I've got it set up on these little attachment pins here, if you can see that. So I can easily disattach this, and the bimini comes off in one piece there, and it's just held on in its place by these little connections here that I've knocked up. Very easy to attach and disattach, fold down, remove, whatever I need to do. So when I've got the kids on board, I have it on here because I don't want them to get sunburned, obviously. But if I'm using the boat on my own, I just take the whole bimini off, and that way I've got full range of movement throughout the boat. If I'm fishing, when I'm fishing, a lot of these cushions I just take out to give me more foot room. But yeah, so she's got painted top deck, new transom, new outboard, completely rewired. Nothing on this boat was overlooked. Anything that was in good condition, I've kept. So the side pocket combings, they've all been kept. That's the original vinyl. They're in pretty good condition. I've just replaced the screws and the caps there. All timbers throughout the boat are completely fine. Way better than I expected. This really was a bit of a barn find. So, all right, what else we got? Yeah, as I said, top deck, original gel coat down the sides, new stickers, and I've had the original dealer supply stickers remade in its exact font, exact size. It was originally still on the boat. So this sticker is when the boat was originally delivered back in 1979. That sticker looked exactly the same. As I said, it's just been reproduced just recently. But yeah, gel coat down the side of the boat, really, really nice still. Original boot stripe, and the boat's name is Bruiser. And I don't know if you can see that on the side there, but it did have Bruiser written down the side there in that old school sign writing. Must have been a water-based paint or something that I wet sanded off. I'm going to get that remade. It was just through here. I don't know if you can still see that, but I can hear Bruiser. I like the name. It's a little big boat. That's a little boat. And when you're going at 90 k's an hour, I can see how it would be a bruiser. Yeah. Anyway, look, I really hope you've enjoyed this little walk around. Very basic, bare bones boat. Absolute Aussie classic. So if anyone's in the market for a classic Haines or any old manufactured boat for that matter, but mainly Haines in this instance, I'm just going to go through a couple of things that over the years that I've noticed with these old Haines. It's not the first one that I've had, and there's a couple little things that you need to be wary of when you're buying an older boat. There might be some characteristics that the boat's showing that you could think, oh, it might be alright, it might not be alright, and you're not sure whether to take the risk and jump into the purchase or not. So we'll start with the transom. So like I said, this particular boat, the rest of its bones are pretty good, but it's so common for these old Haines to have rotted out transoms. And all this transom wasn't crazy bad. It had its typical areas of wood rot where this aluminium plate is. Now I've kept all the original pieces here, refurbed them and all that kind of stuff, but so this, in its original state, this is how it originally is, so I can kind of show you exactly how and where they rot out. So firstly, where these screw holes are here, obviously they get water ingress over time. Those screws go directly into timber. There was no attempt or effort to waterproof back at the factory during manufacture, so water obviously ingresses there, and over time you get wood rot. And once it starts, it obviously just creeps through the rest of the transom. You also get your typical wood rot around the bung holes, around the engine bolts, engine mounting bolts as well, and also up around the side here. So originally this is where the hull cap is through here. You've got the top cap and the bottom cap. So originally underneath this trim here, you've got the join between the two pieces. Of course, water ingress into here means that you get wood rot from the top here over the sides of the transom, and also around these ski or tow hook fittings as well. So that kind of compromises at least 50% of the transom. And if I was to kind of give you a guide of where this transom was bad, it was in all these areas that I've just mentioned here, all the way through the top third of that top trim there, the top of the transom, and literally around a bread and butter plate size, around every bung hole, there was evidence of moisture and of course wood rot as well. So that was all taken out. I've got all the new thermalite transom in there now, so that's obviously a problem of the past. The other thing is too, okay, so moving slightly forward, these side pockets here, if you look over there, you've got the side pocket combing, but there's also a box section that comes up here, and then it goes across, which this particular combing is screwed onto, and it starts at the back of the boat there, in the back there, and it travels forward to basically where the gear shift is and shift funnels are. Now, if the boat is sitting and in the water or out of the water, and water collects in the back of the hull and is not being drained out, then water can ingress, as where would have it, these screw holes here obviously become a little bit enlarged and the screws might not have such a snug fit. So water can ingress into these and fill the side pockets. And these side pockets can hold, I would have to assume, probably at least 50 litres of water. So when you put an old boat in the water, if it's got a lean to one or side or another, then the first thing I'll be looking at is certainly water ingress in these side pockets, and that can be as simple as just taking out one of these screw holes here and seeing if water drains out. Underfloor, water not draining and holding is also another issue as well. So, of course, you've got the stringer system under the floor. We've got two main stringers that run all the way along through there, and then there's obviously ribs and bulkheads throughout the floor sections as well. that breaks the floor under the floor into different coordinates. So if you've got a water drainage hole through a bulkhead or a stringer that's blocked, then water that gets into a forward compartment under the floor, a forward coordinate under the floor, may not be able to drain back out again. So, you know, that's something to check for as well. If your boat is just not quite sitting right in the water, that is certainly something to look for as well. And obviously, the longer that you leave that water in there, the more chance there is that the stringers are going to rot out if they haven't already as well. So, other little things to look for. Obviously, you've got soft spots in the floor that you want to be looking for as well. Of course, that's a pretty straightforward way to check for that. You've got tapping, you've got moisture readers, all that kind of stuff. It's just as easy to walk around the floor where you can to assess that. That's all for now, guys. If you'd like to see more of our content, please subscribe and hit that like button. Keep well, and we'll see you next time.